Hello, my name is Eve and welcome back to my workshop. On today's video, I'm going to be making a harp from start to finish. Maybe I'll leave the last couple of finishing touches up for the next video, but it's going to be mostly done start to finish in this video. But as you can see, I don't really have a large space to do some woodworking on. So that's gonna be the first thing I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna make some sawhorses before I do anything else. So stick around and let's get into the video. All right, so the first step with the sawhorse is I'm gonna be making basically an I-beam with some 2x4s, all of them the same length, and I'm just gonna screw in some legs onto them. Should take about 10-15 minutes. It really shouldn't take much longer than that. But yeah, you can see the process and how I would go about doing it. All right, I got 6 36-inch lengths all cut out. So now I'm just gonna make them an I-beam, and then I just take more 2x4s, put them up against it, screw in place. Quick and dirty, super easy. Put in, let's go. These don't need perfect, they just need to be done. All right, so now I got the I-beam part of it done. So now all I need to do is put some legs on them. So I have to cut 4 legs for each one. I need to figure out how tall to make that, so I'll go do that right away. All right, so legs need to be about 30 inches or so tall, so I'll go do that. All right, now if you know, I did it properly, I should just be able to screw the 4 legs right into here, one screw there, and it should work, right? Hopefully. Let's take it to risk here. This is the first time I've done this, so learn from my mistakes. So a little problem with what I did. The wood is warped, so nothing is straight. Also, when I was screwing them in, I didn't make sure that the 2x4s were right in the middle. I should have done that, but I didn't. So one of the sides has a bigger angle than the other. Can I fix that? Yeah, but I'm gonna need to just put a little piece of wood on the side of the legs. Actually, one of the legs to just squish it together. Actually, I'm gonna do it the lazy way. I'll show you what I mean. So as you can see, this right here is not level because the wood's twisted, right, like this. So instead of redoing this, because I don't want to, I'm gonna put a piece of wood and just slap it right here. Slap it right there, screw it right in, and then it doesn't wobble anymore. Easy fix. Probably use a piece of wood that's not gonna splinter when you do that. right here. This big old knot right here, just split right into two. Okay, then you can see right where I screwed. Right there. And there we go. Not wobbling anymore. And now we go back to doing the second one. Oh, it's cold in here. Now you might be asking, why aren't I using this workbench to just do all of it? Well, it's not big enough. I need more space. And I could like put some planks of wood on top of it and use that way, but it wouldn't be stable. I need to use clamps. This way I should just be able to, you know, put it however large I need to, and then cut from there. So hopefully this will save some time in the future and I won't have to do this again. All right, sweet. So that's gonna be just the end of this first part here. It's cold out and I need to both charge and move over the video. I'm actually shooting this in 4K for once, so I don't know if that's gonna make a difference. I got my little mic here. I shouldn't tap it while I'm actually talking. I got my mic, shooting in 4K for once. We'll see how it works. Hopefully people enjoy it. But that does mean that I can't film for nearly as long because I've only got, I think, about like an hour of storage in this memory card. So I need to get another one that's a little bit bigger so that I can film for longer. But we're going to be doing, that's going to be the end for today. I'm going to be back tomorrow. You're going to see this in just a minute. But I'm going to be back tomorrow after I've slept and warmed up. So we'll see you then. All right, we're back and it's day 2 of putting together this harp, although day 1 of actually working on it. Off camera, I sketched out a quick shape. I've got a pattern that I'm using right here. So I just drew it out on this red oak laminated wood hardwood that I've got. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking a jigsaw that I've got and just cutting the pieces and seeing it works. There's 3 of these that need to be cut out, and they need to be cut out in a cross section. So like the grain needs to be perpendicular to each other so that it, no matter which direction it's facing, there's always some long grain to give strength. So I'm going to cut those out and hopefully glue them together today. And then afterwards, well, I'll see what I've got time for because I've only got a little bit before I got to start work. So let's get started. There's a really tight curve right here. I don't know if I can make it with this, but I'm going to try. I've got enough board here that I can make a couple mistakes. So if I have to remake another one, it's not a big deal. Let's see here. Oh, that's good. Okay, back. I'm gonna speed up my wheels. Whoopsie, that's not ideal. I probably should have first. Oops, well. It's not ideal. Last little bit fell off. But we can hide that. Put it in the middle. So now you can see that it is a little bit off on each one. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this one down to match the lines that I drew, and then just use this as the pattern to draw the next one. And then that should be good. So this one's probably just going to get thrown out because I messed it up. All right, so other than this little section right here, this is good. So I'm going to use this as a pattern for the next one. Just lay it down, stick it with some double-sided tape probably, and just use this to draw the next lines, because these aren't great, but I've got extra. I planned for making mistakes, so let's just go and yeah, let's just keep going. And this time I'm going to cut this section first and leave this for last instead of here for last. That was a bad idea. Now you might be asking, why don't you just use a single piece of wood to do this? It has to do with the grain structure. So because of the curve of the harp, right? So basically you want to make sure that there's at least grain, like the grain pattern is going at least in a straight line in any section. So that's why you cut 3 separate pieces with different, sides. That way at least one of them is always going to be in that strong side, I guess, if that makes sense. And if you have a big piece of wood that's not glued up, then that can't do it. From what I understand, I'm not an expert in this, I'm still learning. But from what I understand, they would, in the traditional manner of making harps, they take a piece of wood and bend it to fit the shape. I guess with like a steaming box and things like that. I don't have any of those, so this is what I'm doing for now. Maybe in the future I'll revisit this and change it, but for now that's what I'm doing. I think I forgot to move the camera. All right, 3 pieces, roughly the same shape. Now, I gotta glue these all together like this, which means I need to sand the inside pieces so that there's something for the glue to stick onto, and then clamp them. So that's the next step. So marking it like that is something I picked up from much better woodworkers than I am. Basically, you mark it like that so that you can see where you've already sanded, and then after that, you can actually, you know that you've gone over all of it. So if there's no pencil left, then you've sanded everything properly. So there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bunch of glue on these and then stick them together so that they can cure, the glue can cure, and then I can keep going tomorrow. It's cold in here, so cold that my wedding ring is just slipping off my finger. So I'm not going to be in here for much longer. So this is the last thing I'm doing today. And then I'm going back inside where it's warm, because this is awful. This is so cold. Oh, look at that. Okay, so in order to glue it, so this one. Whoa. So this thing broke. All right. Let's go a little bit. This one, I guess. Okay. Swap these. This one go here. This one go here. I'll do these out. She's good. Enough. Right. Okay. All right, so not only am I cold, but I'm also almost out of storage space for my recording. And I'm tired, and my nose is dripping. It's so cold in here. Even though I've got heaters on, it's still like minus 30 something degrees outside Celsius, so it is really cold. And this is an insulated garage with heaters in it, but it's only space heaters. So unless I've got the forge running, it gets cold. I might just put the forge on next time I'm out here just to warm up, or just to warm it up. But it should be warm enough for the glue to set and everything like that. So I'll be back again in a day to do some work. All right, day 3 of building the harp. I've got the headpiece all glued. And now I just need to take all the clamps off and sand it down to make it a uniform shape. So we'll get started. All right, so I think I've sanded it down so it's all at least level. I got a bit of crazy super glue on my finger, but that's not a big deal. So now the last step for this headpiece. All right, so this is a 4.8 millimeter and this is a 3.5, and it seems like these are the ones I need to make the holes. So we're gonna head on over to the drill press and get that going. I quickly marked the spots where I need to drill the holes. The larger ones need to be 1 1/4 inches deep, and the smaller ones need to be 3/4 of an inch deep. So I need to set that on my drill press before I start making these holes, because otherwise I'm gonna make them way too big. So we'll get into that now. Okay. All right, we're back. I've drilled all of the holes in this thing. So now the last step is just going to be to sand it flat again, and then I'm done with this headpiece. So I think I'm going to split this up into a couple of videos, just because this is taking longer than I expected, as they always do. So I'm going to have first part for the headpiece, February 1st, which is when you're watching this. And then if everything goes well, I'm going to have a shorter release date between the next two, because I'm still going to be working on this between now and the release of this video. So I'm still going to be recording and everything. Just this video is going to be out February 1st. And then the next one, hopefully 15th. Give me 2 weeks to just do the next part. So the first part will be the head. Next part will be the soundboard. And then ideally, the third part will be assembly of the entire harp, so that we can then put some strings in it. So ideally, just about a month for all 3 parts. So we'll see. But for now, I'm just going to sand it and we'll keep moving. All right, so now this is it for all the rough making of the headpiece. I'm gonna do some final finishing passes for sanding when it's closer to being fully assembled. But for now, the headpiece is done. When it's fully assembled, I'm going to, well, close to fully assembled, I'm gonna stain it all. So that will look pretty nice. I'm gonna have a dark stain to match the piece of sapelli that I've got for the support piece. So that'll be good, I think. It'll match. But other than that, yeah, I'm pretty proud of this. So hopefully people have enjoyed this, and you'll tune in for the next video. So thanks again for joining in and joining me on this journey of building a harp from start to finish. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.